Hey guys, welcome to my channel Life with Val. My name is Valencia and I take you guys on my journey of exploring life, which is currently in London. And I have been gone for a while, but I do want to speak on a topic about actually just living in London because there's been a lot of discourse around, being a CA abroad, what that's like, what you're giving up, or maybe the benefits of doing that. And I actually did a little bit of a Q&A on my Instagram just to see or get a sense of like what are those questions, and I think I'm going to maybe just answer some of them, and then perhaps at the end I'm also just going to share a little bit about what I think about it. So when the first question is actually quite intense. It says, do you feel like your career has taken a step back? And on this note, I'm going to say that it's very important that you really think about what it is or why it is that you actually want to make a move. Are you running away from something? Like, that's probably not the best reason to come here. In which way are you looking for your career to grow? And when I just think about like, has my career itself taken a step back? I'm in audit, right? And had I stayed in South Africa, the next line of progression would have been to go from being a third year trainee to being a manager. 9 times out of 10, that would be the case once you've passed APC. And when I made the move to come back to the UK, or to come to the UK, I actually did take a step back. I had to then become an audit senior. And after 18 months-ish, or over just under a year and a half, I then got promoted to assistant manager, which means I now only manage portfolios. They're not very big clients, but I do have my own portfolio of clients which I manage and. So when you think about, did it take a step back? It kind of did, because I had to be an audit senior, so it kind of felt a little bit like I was redoing third year. At the time, it felt like it was okay because I don't know the UK market, so would I be best placed to maybe manage clients here when I don't really know about, the laws and regulations, how things are done here? Maybe not. But essentially, it is a little bit of a step back, and I think that's the honest truth, whichever way you decide to paint it. But I think it comes back to, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to be an audit manager at a UK firm, knowing everything there is about it? Then you have to go through this process, and that I agree with, that makes sense. But in the long term, if you don't want to be in audit, or you do want to be in audit, maybe you just need to think about, where do you want that to be? Do you want that to be in South Africa? Then maybe coming here wouldn't necessarily make the most sense, because you're taking a step back anyway, and the knowledge you're gaining about UK markets might not really be relevant in the South African context. And if you do want to progress in audit, it might actually be better to stay. But again, this is just my opinion, my experience. But I think that would be my standpoint. If I wanted to progress in audit, I do think I might have a better chance in just staying in South Africa and kind of seeing that through. Being a manager, probably getting to senior manager status much sooner than taking the step back here. So I think it actually just comes down to, what is it that you're looking for when you actually come here? And this actually ties in quite well to the next question that says, is it true that it will not be a good move if you're not planning to stay in audit in the future? And to be honest, if you're not planning, one thing is audit wherever you do go. And for me, coming to the UK, audit was the easiest way to get here, just because that's what I had experience in, and that's what I think companies would hire me for, is because I'm in that I do have audit experience. And I think generally getting out of audit is something that is difficult to do. And I wouldn't, based on like the experience of my peers, coming here through audit and then trying to branch out isn't something that is actually easy to do, because of things like sponsorship, visas, and again, your experience is only in audit. But in terms of whether it's a good move if you're not planning on staying in audit, I guess that's something that I can't answer just yet. I'm yet to see if there's any benefit of actually having this UK experience when looking for jobs outside of audit. But I would say that if you just want to get to the UK, it's a great stepping stone. In terms of getting out of audit, I don't think I think it's just as hard as it would be in South Africa, if not harder here, to try and get out of audit when you come through audit just because you don't have experience. In South Africa, I feel like it might be easier to try and get out. And I would say that if I knew what I knew now, I might have stayed in South Africa to branch out into industry as opposed to trying to make that move here. I just see how, I'm not saying it's impossible, again, only my experience, but I feel like you have a better chance of getting out if you stayed in South Africa. But again, it comes down to what you're coming here for. If you're coming here, for example, I came here to do a lot of traveling, then that was clearly my career was not top of mind. And now it's like, okay, what about your career? So I guess it's, do you really value your career progression, what you want for your future, and making the steps or making the decisions that are really aligned to that. Are the opportunities for promotion the same in the UK as here in South Africa? I think that's also very firm dependent. As I said, I had my first promotion within, I mean, it was based on 1 year of work, but it was effective, I would say, 1 year, 5 months later. So I was able to get promoted, I'm going to say within 18 months. And I guess that's I want to say I think that's what the timeline seems to be, up to 18 months. You could get a promotion. I'm not sure if that's the same as what it would be like in South Africa. But what I do know is that when it comes to just getting promoted in general, that does just genuinely come down to, are you actively seeking the promotion? Are you actively making it aware that this is what you're going for and you're going after it? And I think if you show that that's what you want from the get-go, that does tend to go a lot further. I know that here, it wasn't automatic for you to get a promotion. You need to say, this is, I want this, and this is how I'm going to get this, and then display that. I can't really speak for South Africa because when I was a trainee, it wasn't really a promotion. It was just progressing through the natural stages of being first, second, and third year. But I would say that here, you really need to like put your hand up and go for it. It's not automatic. I feel like it is a little bit more tough. I think you have a lot to prove when you come in here as a foreigner, in a completely new environment. I do think it's a little bit more challenging, but again, I would have to go back to South Africa to actually see, which one is easier or not, but those would be my initial kind of thoughts on that. Do you see career progression at your current firm for experienced hires? And look, I have seen career progression. I've seen my own career progression, and I've actually seen it amongst my peers. Whether that is easy or not, I think it actually, it comes down to like the people that you work for and whether they pushed you and back you. I also think it's dependent on the organization. And I think it also comes down to your drive. If you're really good at what you do and you're driven and determined to kind of get those promotions, you can get it. When I was going up for my promotion, I know that I had to set it like 6 months ahead of time and decide that this is what I'm going to do, inform people that this is what I'm going to go for. So if they could give me any opportunities to take on more responsibility, to actually showcase that would be ideal, just so that I can look like I'm eligible for a promotion. So I guess to answer the question, I do see it. It is tough though, but I do see it. But again, this is only just my opinion on that. And this is the last question that I'm going to answer. It just says, have you tried applying for the jobs in South Africa yet? And if yes, what has that been like? So I have kind of taken a stab at what the South African job market looks like. And I won't lie, I've just been getting a lot of rejections from applying on LinkedIn, reaching out to recruiters actually putting my CVs in, certain companies' hands. I have not actually gotten a call back or an interview for those things. And I think that just speaks to the market as a whole, where they're not really hiring a lot of people right now. I know that they say CAs are in demand, but I personally have not been able to see that. I sent in quite a lot of applications and literally I have not had an interview from any one of those. So I would say that it has been tough, and I think that's just because of where the market is right now. But I also just have a thought about, if I had stayed, would that have been different? Would I have had a better chance? Because now I'm 2 years post articles with only audit experience, trying to go into industry. I think it is a bit challenging, and there are thoughts of whether maybe I should have just gone straight into industry before, um, as opposed to doing the 2 years post qualifying article. What? As opposed to doing 2 years of audit post qualifying. I do wonder if it would have just been easier to go into industry straight after articles. But at this point in time, I think I would say that I'd probably have more luck if I wanted to go back to South Africa and I chose to probably stay in external in auditing. But in terms of getting out into industry, it is tough. Listen, I'm also not saying that this is the norm, this is the absolute fact and the truth. I'm literally only speaking from my experience. And right now it's been very tough. When you speak to recruiters, it's mostly for financial accounting roles. I'm not really sure that's aligned with what I want. And I think at the end of the day, it does come down to what it is that you want. And I think it's hard to know from the jump what you want your career to look like. But I think I would just urge people to really think about what they want for themselves. Half the time when we make the decision to come to the UK, you just want to run away, you just want something different, you feel like you've been through the trenches and you just deserve something else, which I'm not saying is wrong, but we really need to think about the big picture of this. Do you want to invest 2-3 years living abroad, staying in audit, maybe taking that step back, or do you maybe want to just start building a career in an industry that you enjoy, or something that's better suited for you? I'm not saying that audit is really bad or audit is really good. I think it's either for you or it's not. But I just definitely think that when you do make these type of decisions, you really just think about what it is that you want for yourself. As I said, my reasons for coming to the UK were to travel, were to grow as an individual, to get that global experience. And I think at some point I'll reflect on, whether that was worth it or not. But I know that this experience has still been invaluable either way. I'm still very grateful for the opportunities. And right now, I don't know if I would have done anything very different. I think there will be a time where I actually reflect on that. But I do still see value in, coming to the UK. Although I do want to make a video just to say some of the things that I wish I knew before I made this decision. And I'm definitely going to speak about that in my next video. So I'm going to leave that here for now, a little bit of a cliffhanger. But if you guys have any more questions, please do reach out to me. Or if you have questions, leave them in the comments, pop me a DM, and I can kind of just maybe answer them on the next video. But I'm definitely going to just touch base on some of the things I wish that I knew. So if you do like this video, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to say share it with people so that they are more aware. I think we need to have more conversations like this. And yeah, subscribe, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.